Tonight, NEPR's Karen Brown discusses the latest in a wrongful conviction case of a former Springfield resident, Mark Schand. He was recently awarded $27 million. That's $1 million for each year that he should have been a free man.
He wasn't really expecting anything. He's sort of so used to the system failing him, is how he puts it, that he didn't know what to expect. But when they made that announcement, you know, the entire courtroom, all of his friends and family just erupted in cheers and crying. And
not something you often see in court where there's an actual audible, large reaction to something that happens.
Yeah. It sounds like his family was more reactive than him. He's probably still like, how is this going to work out? You know?
And so explain to us, this is different. He was awarded $500,000 from the state previously. Right. How is this different?
Well, there are different ways to request compensation when you're wrongfully convicted, and it's different in every state. In Massachusetts, the maximum amount that you could get from the state as part of the law for just allowing this to happen was a maximum of $500,000. It's now $1 million, but when he was in that position, it was $500,000. He got almost that much.
And his case was part of what changed that compensation structure, right?
Right, because it also, you only got $500,000, which really, when you look at 27 years in prison, for many people doesn't seem like very much. You know, it doesn't allow you really to make up for all those years. And it didn't include a lot of services and job training and a lot of other things you need to get on your feet. So partly as a result of his case, the legislature changed that. So that's good for future people. It's still up to $1 million. So that meant that his only other recourse to try and get some monetary compensation, and he's always said, you know, money isn't going to bring him back his time, but it's something. So the other recourse was to sue civilly, and that's what this was.
And so for him to do that, though, he had to spend his own money, I assume. He had to hire a lawyer, or was there a defense fund that helped him pay for this? Because I could see from Mr. Shand's perspective, I was wrongfully convicted, and here I am trying to get recourse for that, and I have to spend my own money?
I believe that the lawyers, the law firm that he used, takes that on. Either the judgment includes attorney's fees once everything's said and done, or they will get a cut of that money. I'm quite sure he didn't have to put out his own money, but he certainly had to put out his own time. He certainly didn't know how this was going to turn out. And it's very hard to sue from what happened 30 years ago. And a lot of the people are no longer working. Some people are no longer alive. The evidence is not available. So this was a really uphill battle.
And it was a long time coming, too, because correct me if I have this wrong. In 2015, he sued the city of Springfield and 4 police officers for violating his civil rights. A portion of that was dismissed by the courts, the case against the city. Right. This was the case against the 4 officers?
Right. So this was just against the 4 officers. Now, the city is somewhat liable for the officers that were working for the city at the time. It's not clear where this money will come from and how much, because the city says, according to state law, the city is only liable for $1 million per officer. So that's a total of $4 million, not $27 million. Now, I talked to his lawyers who said, well, we will figure out how to get that money some other way, maybe from assets of the officers. Maybe we can appeal the lawsuit against the city. So, you know, there's a lot legally that's still going to happen as far as appeals and figuring this stuff out.
So it's not like when the gavel came down and the judgment for the $27 million was decided, he was cut a check right there in the courtroom.
Right. And Mark himself says he will. You know, he doesn't know if he's ever going to see any of this money. For him, this was about vindication. He was just so happy that publicly there was a statement, you were wronged and somebody was responsible for you being wronged. I'm sure he would love to see the money, but he's not counting on it.
So when you were looking at this, you spoke with someone from the Public Justice Advocacy Clinic at the George Washington University. Do other people pursue wrongful conviction in a similar way that Mr. Schand did?
Well, it varies from state to state according to what you're allowed to do, according to state law, according to what your particular circumstances are. You know, there's DNA testing, which was not the case with Mark Schand. There's how much evidence you have. There's whether you need to prove that the police officers or the district attorney or whoever was responsible for putting you in jail did so intentionally or if it was a mistake. So there's a real uphill battle, and in some cases it's not worth it to people to go through all that trouble. Some, according to the clinic, the Public Advocacy Justice Clinic.
It's a tricky name.
Yeah. It's at George Washington University. Only half of all wrongfully convicted even try to sue, and out of them, not all of them win. And those who do win, the average is $300,000.
So a $27 million settlement in the case of Mr. Schand is far, far, far from the average.
Yes, it's not absolutely unheard of. There have been other very large settlements, like the Central Park 5.
Right.
That was $41 million.
In New York City, right.
Yeah.
So, but when this happens, when there is that large number that comes down, is it seen by people in the legal community as a good thing that maybe this will happen more often now, the wrongfully convicted will get justice in this way, or is it seen as something that's problematic?
Well, I mean, I think certainly his own lawyers would like him to get as much as he possibly can. If you go to the Innocence Project and those who are more advocates for the wrongfully convicted, I mean, I don't think anyone is against monetary compensation, but the fact that you have to go through this very brutal legal process and you don't know how it's going to turn out, and maybe you're going to get $27 million, and maybe you're going to get $300,000, and maybe you're going to get nothing, that doesn't seem like a good system. What they want is it to be very easy across the board to just go to the state and say, according to state law, I am entitled to a certain amount of money per year that I was incarcerated, and please don't make me go through a 5-year lawsuit to get it.
And so is there movement in Massachusetts for something like that? I mean, I know we now, as you said, there's the $1 million.
Right.
And is that going to be standardized in other states? Is there a discussion about that type?
Well, there's definitely a discussion. There's definitely a lot of advocacy around that. But some states offer zero. Some states offer $20,000 per year incarcerated. Some states just offer education. Texas is actually one of the best states, like the most generous.
Wow.
I can't even remember exactly how much per year they offer, but it's pretty good. And so there is an effort to try and standardize that. I don't know if Massachusetts is going to move beyond what they have at the moment.
I could see the wrongfully convicted looking at this and seeing it's just another layer of wrong, another way in which they've been wronged, where they are vindicated, they're let out, and now the struggle begins all over again.
Well, they have to, like in Mark Shand's case, he felt like he had to prove yet again that he didn't do this crime, that he was again being accused of something because, it's a lawsuit, and he's just ready to just move on at this point.
Yeah, I can see where you stated that statistic that many people don't pursue this, or they're probably just fed up with the legal system did them wrong one time. Why would you want to go back and entangle yourself in that system yet again?
Yeah. Well, Mark told me that what his dream is to be able to walk down the street, go into a grocery store, and have nobody know who he is and nobody ask him about his case, and just to move on.
So what happens now? The case, whether or not he gets this $27 million, how soon might that be decided, or where does it go from here?
Well, his lawyers say, there's likely to be appeals process. The city told me that they're weighing their options for appeal, but if they do appeal, that'll take probably another year and a half or 2 years before the whole process unfolds. And, the amount of money could change. And again, the question of how much the city is liable for, how much the officers are able to contribute towards the
judgment. Because they're all retired at this point.
Yeah. So I don't know, that part is very up in the air. So again, for Mark, he's just looking at this was a huge statement that I was wronged and that somebody was responsible for me being wronged.